It's called a CD. Do you know what CDs are?
No, I have no idea.
You never see
MP3. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
What's poppin', y'all? It's your girl Gloria coming at you live. If you see a kid that's riding a bike 2 sizes too big for him, that's just little man trying to save the neighborhood. And speaking of saving the neighborhood, what's up with all these missing person flyers?
Yo, check out the courthouse.
They're turning it into apartments?
Y'all know how this starts. Them white people with canvas bags, that's always the first sign.
Talk to me about how you, about how gentrification, why this was the pertinent topic for you.
Sure.
Is there a personal reason for this?
Yeah, so I'll sort of take you through the journey of it all. It was born from the desire to tell a fun adventure story and also tell a fun adventure story with kids that look like me and my friends growing up in the Dominican Republic. So the kind of kids that aren't really represented in these kind of stories, or the kind of kids that are not able to be the heroes of their story. So that was sort of my main goal of trying to tell an adventure story with a diverse cast. So that was like the main goal. I knew I wanted to set the story in New York City, and talking to friends in the Dominican community, especially like Washington Heights, that neighborhood, which is a very Dominican neighborhood in New York City, that is going through changes right now, and sort of all their conversations were all sort of similar, how much the neighborhood's changing, how much the identity is being sucked out. And I think I just made the connection to vampires really quick. And then a lot of Dominicans live in the Bronx too, and the Bronx is a huge immigrant community. There's so many different types of people there, and it just almost feels like the last frontier as far as like where gentrification will go next.
Have you ever been on a project that is so Latino or so Afro-Latino or so Dominican Republic as this movie? Because you got, like we just said, there's Zoe Saldana, there's Oz, there's you. I feel like all of these, I feel like that culture is definitely informing the shape of the story and the vibe of the story. Have you ever been on a project like that before?
Oh no, never to this extent. I've worked on other projects, like you mentioned, like the Get Down, where it's very influenced by Spanish culture, or just by, I guess the better word for the Get Down was New York culture. Whereas this one's very, very influenced by Spanish culture. You have Spanish music. We have all kinds of Spanish people, different people of all different heritages. And that was something that was really important for us, especially for Oz. I know that, it wasn't a story about the Bronx. It was a story about people who go through gentrification. It doesn't have to be in the Bronx. It doesn't have to be a Black community. It doesn't have to be a Spanish community. It can be a community, just any community, whether it be immigrants, African American. A lot of different communities go through gentrification, and that's the main message. That other people may not think that your story is important, but your story is so important. Your story is important to yourself, and your story is important to bettering yourself and creating what you want for your future.
This is a movie made for 12-year-olds and 12, 13-year-olds in terms of a target demographic, let's say, right? But it's just so amazing to see Method Man in there, who when I was a 12, 13-year-old, he was like an icon to me. I don't know that you didn't grow up with Method Man necessarily. So now you educate me. You school me on this.
I beg to differ.
Okay.
My mom My mom raised me with a lot of different music. My dad really liked listening to underground hip hop and metal music, which is a really weird combination. And my mom really liked reggaeton and salsa and underground hip hop. So I grew up listening to Wu-Tang since I was 5. I grew up listening to Tribe Called Quest since I was 5. I grew up listening to Gangstar and all of those underground hip hop artists, Nas. So I really loved Method Man, Cliff at SNL. He came in and did a small little piece in a video I did. This Fresh Prince of Bel-Air spoof that we did, and that's when I first met him, and he was amazing. He was so excited to just be on an SNL thing. He'd always wanted to be on SNL. So that's the first time I met him, and then I remember how great he was on set, and also I've seen him as an actor in so many amazing things, like The Wire and The Deuce. So beyond loving him as a musician, I think he's an amazing actor too. And
we had a meeting and I was going to offer him another role. And then he brought up Father Jackson. And immediately I was like, yes, please, let's go. Right away. Let's do it. Like, it was his idea to like go shift towards that character. And I'm like, that is friggin' perfect.
Yeah, he's so inspiring. I mean, he was so fun to work with that I remember one night we were shooting and we were on a break and he just started rapping for us, like out of nowhere. And everyone was like, oh my God, we just got a live performance from Method Man. And then that same night, me, Gregory, and Gerald all were like, hey, so like, we need to do like a battle. Like we need to write some rhymes for Method Man. So the next day we had all written like a few verses and we went to Method Man and we started rapping and Method was like, stick to your day job. And it was really great.
We got vampires in the Bronx.
Nobody gonna care that Slim disappeared.
Why? Because he's a gangbanger?
Nah, homie, because he's from the Bronx, like us.
There's a lot of things happening in this neighborhood right now. Keep your eyes open.
All right. Yo, that was mad vague, dog.